Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have some really interesting news about Star Wars Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker and a deleted concept from Episode 9. With that said, take this report with a grain of salt, however I do believe it to be true. Early on in Episode 9 we were getting reports that Matt Smith, the actor who actually played Doctor Who, would be appearing in The Rise of Skywalker. In the end though, when the movie was ultimately released, Matt Smith's role had seemingly been cut from the final product of the movie, although it is still widely believed that Matt Smith did work on the movie in a thus far unforeseen role, a role that was just confirmed today. In an interview with the writer of The Rise of Skywalker, Chris Terrio, he revealed, or at least rather hinted at, that Matt Smith did in fact play a Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker. However, according to reports, Matt Smith did not play the father of Rey as many people originally believed that he would. Rather, the actor was actually commissioned to play Palpatine himself, only a far younger version of the character. There were reports initially that Matt Smith would be playing a more rejuvenated Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker. However, this does not go along with the report and the indication that we actually get. Instead, again according to this report, it is actually believed that Matt Smith was going to be playing Palpatine himself in a flashback, and would not be the rejuvenated version of the character, as we similarly saw when Palpatine rejuvenated himself in Star Wars Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker at the end. And this report that he was going to look more like his Revenge of the Sith self was very early on in production and very early on in the leaks, meaning that it was never the intention for Matt Smith to play a Palpatine that was more rejuvenated, rather a very young version of the character, likely to set up Rey's parentage. It is now all but confirmed that again Matt Smith was set to play a very young version of Palpatine. According to a bunch of other corresponding reports, the earlier cuts of The Rise of Skywalker actually showed a whole lot more of the backstory of Palpatine, and it was actually a massive subplot in the movie talking about Palpatine and how he eventually led to Rey, sort of setting up Rey's parentage and the big reveal, with likely even being a reveal scene of Rey's grandmother. Initially, there were reports that Matt Smith was actually cast to play the son of Mortis that we saw in the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars saga, but that when they decided to ultimately bring Palpatine back as the main antagonist of the final movie, his role was completely scrapped. However, all reports indicate that he was in fact brought on board to play a very young Palpatine. Anyway guys, just to summarize, it appears as if Matt Smith was cast as the role of Palpatine to more flesh out Rey's backstory and her parentage, and to have it all make sense. This does go along with what we ultimately learned in The Rise of Skywalker, with Palpatine in his more familial life being pushed to the background, but again now it being confirmed that at the very least Palpatine did have a family and a son, so it makes sense as to why they would want to portray it ever so slightly in The Rise of Skywalker. And I would be really intrigued to see this scene of a young Matt Smith playing Sheev Palpatine, and perhaps one day in the future we can even get Matt Smith playing the character in perhaps a prequel series, which I would absolutely adore. Maybe not have Palpatine be the main character of this prequel series, but have him show up as a much younger, underdeveloped Sith Lord. But what are your thoughts on this, and the fact that again Matt Smith most likely was going to play a very young version of Darth Sidious? Anyway my friends, I really appreciate the support on the channel now post release of The Rise of Skywalker, and I'll do my best to keep you up to date with everything we learn in the coming months and weeks. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.